They don't care about the bald guy with the T-shirt.
Of course they do. This is Dez. He is the senior product manager for Android devices and beyond with T-Mobile, and he's been in a few of the videos that I've done. I'm here at T-Mobile's headquarters in Bellevue, Washington, and you can follow Dez on Twitter. Ask Dez if you want. AskDes. We're going to talk about comparing the HTC One, which I've had for a while, and the Samsung Galaxy S4, which I've only had for just a few minutes. And, I mean, there are definitely hardware differences. You can see the difference between the two. And I think outright, the primary difference in hardware is that the HTC One is just, this is it. You can't remove the back, you can't remove the battery. It's you get what you get, versus the Samsung Galaxy S4, where you can remove the plastic back to replace the battery, swap out the battery, or get into the internals. So
yeah, I think that there's pluses and minuses to either, right? With the Samsung has flip covers, so you can attach a flip cover which covers the front. They've got a S-View flip cover which actually adds additional functionality.
Oh, on the front, yeah, I've seen that.
Peekaboo screen.
Kind of neat.
Back.
You got one?
I've got one right
there. Oh, that's awesome.
So
I don't know if we want to do it on this device, but
you get the general idea.
Yeah, so that you can keep your screen protected and still get information preview on the front. That is neat.
So I mean, one reason why, replaceable battery, removable memory. But the solid construction built essentially all out of metal. I mean, it feels really great in hand, right? And there's 32 gigs of memory already in the device that we sell. So it's personal preference.
Yeah, and
right?
see, I think it always boiled down, and it's not, there's no winner. And I know people are always fighting for a winner, and there's no winner. Some people just want different things.
Wait till you do your camera and your video challenge.
And that's the thing. I do plan on doing still shots as well as video shots and uploading those samples to my Google Plus profile. And I do that primarily because it's easy, and plus a lot of Android fans hang out on Google Plus. It's pretty much the Android network. So, one of the things that I did not like about the HTC design was specifically that the buttons were flush with the rest of the body frame. That is still very much annoying, and of course Samsung didn't do that. It's just a difference, right?
Although I do like the fact that the infrared port on the top
yeah,
of HTC
see, it's
is built into a button.
It's smarter engineering that HTC did. It's just the usability was in question. There's a physical button on the Samsung Galaxy S4 versus the HTC button, which I guess can get hacked into being used as a button, but just not out of the box. Speakers on the HTC, something that I happen to really like. The way that they positioned it with Beats Audio sounds great.
And I would say that the sound quality, so I'm going to jump in there. Sound quality on HTC One is fantastic. I mean, it is. My wife and I went away for a weekend, and when you want to have music and hang out, and that is a portable stereo.
Yeah, it really is.
Really funky. It was no more cupping of the hand.
That's right.
I watched Coachella, T-Mobile sponsored Coachella streaming live, and I watched Coachella on the HTC One, and again, it was a little portable system, right? It was really cool.
You could get probably some sound out of the Samsung Galaxy S4 speaker.
Yeah, it sounds good. It doesn't sound.
No, it's
not as good.
It's definitely not going to be the same. And I did give HTC props for that. I think it's an amazing system for sight and sound.
It's what they call their boom sound, right?
Right. Well, Beats Audio, powering the
dual stereo front-facing speakers. Yeah.
We're not going to, I mean, the devices are definitely on and booted up, but in terms of the differences, you've got Sense UI on the HTC One versus TouchWiz experience on top of the Samsung Galaxy S4. Jelly Bean 4.1?
4.2.2. Oh, sorry. On one.
Yeah, on one.
It's 4.1.2.
Okay. And then on this S4 is
4.2.2. There will be a quiz later.
By the time this is out, who knows what version we'll be on, but that's good because I hope to see more upgrades coming down the pike. So then, in terms of screen, like resolution as well as size,
both 1080p, 4.7-inch screen on one, and 5-inch screen on Galaxy S4.
Okay, and I'm just going to try to do this. This is not... See, when you're doing side-by-side, some people look at empirical specs, and that's fine, but, I tend to look a little deeper than that in talking to experience, and I can just say, just from an initial look, I'm still very much happier with the Samsung Galaxy S4 screen. Okay. Not just because of size or resolution, but it's just, just from viewing angles, very, very clear. Yeah, but they've improved it dramatically.
Yeah. It is a beautiful screen.
Dramatically on the Samsung Galaxy S4. So let's see here. What other differences would lie between the two beyond software?
They're both quad-core processors. They both have reasonably good-sized batteries. There's a little bit of memory difference for the one from T-Mobile. It's 32 gigs internal, 2 gigs of RAM. With the Galaxy S4 from T-Mobile, it is 16 gigs internal with 2 gigs of RAM with an expandable memory card slot.
See, now that's key.
So again, personal preference. It just depends on what you want to do.
I keep getting notifications on my S4. I'm very popular. I don't know if you...
Well, we've uploaded, in between all these videos, we have taken a bunch of photos, and I'm sure you're getting uploaded.
All these notifications that are coming. I'm just having fun with the stuff. So, I wouldn't say that this... And I have to speak to this because I think the bigger differences, obviously, on the surface are hardware. The HTC definitely feels more solid in my hand, which isn't to say that the Samsung feels plasticky. It just... The HTC feels...
Although it is polycarbonate.
Right, versus... like an aluminum
Metal
construction. Yeah. So you can definitely feel the difference, but I don't think that necessarily takes away from the Samsung Galaxy S4 experience.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a weight difference too. I mean, the way people have said it to me and the way I would kind of relate it back to the folks who haven't touched one is, with metal you have a cooler kind of firm feeling, and with the plastic it's definitely lighter. And it almost kind of warms to your hand, if you will, a little bit.
And I think that speaks to also, I had an issue with the HTC One kind of slipping sometimes and kind of fumbling with it. Okay. I couldn't get a good grip. The edges aren't sharp, but they're definitely sharper than the Samsung Galaxy S4, so it feels better. The Samsung Galaxy S4 does feel better in the hands. It does feel lighter, and I feel like I've got a good grip on it. Okay. So I think that's, again, speaking to usability, that's not empirical. No. You couldn't measure that, but in terms of how I feel.
The going to say the exact
right, the exact opposite. And I after I posted my Samsung Galaxy, my HTC One review, I came to realize that, two different types of people come to look for reviews. The types of people who are really interested in your opinions, and the types of people who are more interested in you validating their opinions. And so I hope you are more the former than the latter. This is not a review. It's just kind of talking about the high-level discussion points between these two devices. I'm sure we've left some stones unturned. But I think those are pretty much the bigger differences between the two.
Very comparable devices at this point.
So good luck deciding. And lucky for you, T-Mobile has both of them available on their network.